billion states once again. How you doing? All right, quick, just a quick video, I suppose. I'm gonna discuss why we can't reverse destructive global trends. All right, so we're a lot smarter than we were 100 years ago. It used to be that specialist knowledge was acquired by years of dedication. You had to be noticed to get the sponsorship for the education. Then you had to devote your life to that field, and to get a chance to do anything significant with it. Or you could be born into wealth and also be smart, and then you could choose. But still, um, pursuing a profession was the only real way you could become a person with responsibilities. And there are always a few outliners who required multiple skills. But even the greatest wouldn't impress as much today. Michelangelo may have been a painter, an engineer, a sculptor, an occultist, a mathematician, and all the rest of it. But these days, you'll find millions of people who've educated themselves to, say, degree level in 10 or 20 disciplines. So skills aren't the problem. Will isn't the problem either. We're all, by and large, well-intended, decent, loving, caring, and aware. Most people, given the opportunity, are willing to work very hard to make a positive difference. Yet, all throughout modern life, we see this systematic absurdities, which we all seem completely powerless to address. So what's gone wrong? Okay, it's quite clear that there's power monopoly and that the game's become rigged. Yet there's runaway censorship, completely corrupt global media, and a political sham in place of any real democratic government. But why is it that the vast majority of the skilled, knowledgeable, and expert manpower in the world who don't own a stake in any of it are still unable to even put a dent in the whole stupid tyranny? Okay, so I believe it comes down to bullying. And now bullying's widely unappreciated. We kind of meet some bullies in infant school, maybe a few at junior school, and they fade into the background until we get to work. The bullies, meanwhile, find their way through all this suppressive for them, school system with all the social protection that we've got there. And, they pick up a few of the weak and stupid and they get by. And if they're smart, for them, they learn that collective bullying under certain rules can lead to a much more sustainable and fulfilling life. Once they clean up their image a little bit, put on a suit and a clean pair of shoes, and get into a decent gang of greedy psychopaths. And none of us notice. We just say to each other, oh, you remember Tosser we went to school with? He's got himself a management gig now. And he's driving around in a Merc, and we think nothing more of it. You probably remember the odd conversation you've had with somebody who thinks the world's giant black, where you fuck over anyone you can fuck over, and it's great. Maybe you even had a friendship with someone like that. But eventually, you found you out of that weird and toxic relationship, and you forgot all about it. You might remember that you nearly revisited that same situation on a subsequent occasion, but you saw the early warning signs and you got out of it. And that's the problem. As we mature, we learn the signs to look for and the cues to read, and we find we find ways to cool off the next cycle that we meet and never get involved again. But the psychos are also learning. They don't want to hang out with us any more than we want to hang around with a vicar or a hippie, So we slide off each other back into our only social groups, and we only meet when when one of them walks into our cozy office and starts pissing us off. And those who are great at pissing us off become powerful. Here's the thing about power in modern society. It's an industry all of its own, and it's a career route. We streamlined everything to the point where, paradoxically, while we're all Renaissance men at work, our jobs are so specific we end up with the same people doing the same jobs in every industry that we get into. Accounts are always done by the accountants. The cleaning's always done by the cleaners. The leading's always done by the leaders, and the bullying's always done by the bullies. So while we go headlong into work and become better and better optics engineers or call center managers, the real business of owning stuff, liquidating stuff, stealing stuff, and ordering people around is being carried out by the people who do appreciate bullies and know how to have them handle each other. And all of our efforts ultimately end up getting accumulated, corrupted, weaponized, and turned into highly optimized misery generators. Now, as you probably know, bullies are not what they tell you in infant school. They're not lonely, soft, confused little pussies who just need love. They're usually hard as fuck, which is why they make great landfills. They're also not stupid, which is why they're so often willing to tolerate their bosses who may not be as strong, but are definitely smarter and more ruthless than your standard nasty-ass cunt. And it's these people who understand how to control the rest of us. You see, the problem is we all believe that if we stick to our strengths, work hard and as smart as we can, and if we stick to our principles, the world should play out. The world should work out. And because we believe that, we are in fact extremely predictable and manipulable. What most of us want actually is the chance to do what we do well, just to feel like we're contributing. And how stupid is that? Well, all we're contributing to ultimately is the wealth and power of the super manipulators. So why don't a handful of us smart people call each other up and say, hey, why don't we invert the economy or crash the criminal record servers or bomb Harrow or something like that? It's because there are very few smart and conscientious people with any power. If you're smart and conscientious, you probably work night shifts in a warehouse because that's the only place they'll let you in. For fuck's sake, I mean, at least half of the rich people in the UK would be into bombing Harrow. It's an all-round win. Okay, so it's been dawning on me for the last few weeks, and especially as I'm writing this or recording this, that this might very well be what's happening. I remember that about 4 years ago, I was watching the World Economic Forum videos on Facebook. Wow, what a lot of swear words in one sentence, and thinking, this is all great, but until we really do something extreme, we'll never implement any of this. And maybe COVID was it. Maybe I've been on the wrong side for the past 2 years. And not for the 3 or 4 years before that. Maybe the right side is winning the war. And all the awake people out there protesting are going to be told right at the last moment that in fact you've won. But it'll be the truth and not some dumbass concession victory like getting to keep cash or nationality or some old world paper bullshit that they think we've forgotten we hated in the first place. Now, don't dare hope they've gone ahead and invented the immortality pill. And they've been out there putting it out under the guise of vaccinations. It'll be a cool thing to live through, though, so early in our collective childhood. I don't know. It sounds to me like I'm weakening a bit now. Sick of YouTube feeding me an hour of new videos every day, which are all exactly the same, and not getting any sex for a decade, and living in one room nearly nobody visits, and going to Aldi and never ransacking the place. Maybe I'm losing it. Tell me in the comments whether you're more shocked that I bought into the WEF or that I only got into mass school killings in my 40s. And please buy some of my merchandise. I'm getting evicted in about 4 days. All right, love. Cheers. See you next time.